You're not tying the statue to that, you're tying a wire to it. The Babel statue was draped in the Yatagarazu's clothes and then shot over. Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with the statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you the Prima Duck statue didn't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you? I'm not saying that's what was tied to it. The Prima Duck statue didn't sprout wings. Of course they didn't. Glad you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation. What? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. The Prima Duck statues flew, but not on wing. On zip line. Allow me a bit of your time and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. Border crossing. Gonna press real quick, see if anything comes up. But we are in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? Just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not further discussion of my conclusion. It's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move the statues. Wire. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Okay, good thing I saved. Or not saved, good thing I pressed. Otherwise, I would be majorly depressed. Ba-dunch. Bad little joke central. Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot to Mr. Cochin's office. All the way from the 5th floor of the Albustinian Embassy down to the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy. If that's what you're claiming is really what happened, I can see how Alba's Prima Duck statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then, what about Babel's Prima Duck statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babel, going in the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy up to the 5th floor of the Augustinian Embassy. How do you explain that? Aha! I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick works. Agent Lang, the motion used behind this trick, I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Motion? What motion? Like us. What do you mean? Bungee motion? I think it's gonna be swinging motion? I don't know what rotary motion means. But also, I need to constantly save. No. Oh no! What does a rotary motion mean? RM? Yeah, what does a rotary motion mean? I believe it was done via rotary motion. I don't know what that means. If the two statues were transported simultaneously... Simultaneously. Get real. The statues would collide somewhere along the way. Did I ever say there was only one line of wire between the two offices? Oh, that's what a rotary motion means. Oh, a simple machine. If you shoot an arrow with the two ends of the wire tied to it, a circular belt can be formed. Oh. Lang Z says, don't object and call a success what is beyond reasonability. Reasonability. Taking into account the tension between the two wires, the top one would sag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyways. Agent Lang, as you know, the Prima Duck statue is a one-of-a-kind national treasure. And the fact that Babal's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Lang Z says, "Oh!" Here's what I believe happened. Wow, Lang Z promotes whatever Lang's into. if you guys can guess what I'm getting at. Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirator set themselves up in two different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the two ends of the wire down on one arrow. Then the two of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to Babel, where it was to be disposed of. And to do that, Miss Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock, QED. Grr. Grr. This proves it right, Agent Lang, that I'm not the killer. Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. Yes, pudding is a nice dessert. So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. You're gonna take Francisca with you? I don't think that's how law works. I agree that as long as there is no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I have laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there is one more piece of evidence. One more? This should be interesting. Ceiling? The ceiling? You think you have a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into facts? Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. Oh, 90410, thank you for the, 90410-505, thank you for the help, but also, I would like to figure this out on my own, but thank you for the help. Yeah. Like, I will ask for help when I need it, just so you know. But thank you. Ha! Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again. The last piece to the trick are two pulleys. Precisely. The ceiling fan doubles as pulleys in this case. And thanks to the fact that there is one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fan's made for the perfect pulley system for the wire to run on. Aw man, look at that music going. This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. Ha! Ha ha ha. Grr. You really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. I bet you figured it all out already, haven't ya? You know who the big hotshot that set up this real-life stage show is, don't ya? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a feelings fan in both the Augustinian and Bobbly's offices, and that the passion flower support stake could be used as arrows. The real mastermind behind this case... Oh well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food. Lying coldly. What? Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do? Single point of the finger here, and this case will explode into an international incident. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears I have no choice now but to rush in. Let's save. I'm saving so much right now. Let's see. What is the piece of evidence? Maybe it's this? Yeah. Perhaps this. I don't think I showed this yet. Nope. That wasn't it. Maybe Manny Cochin himself? Nope. Okay. Let's see. What is the evidence that proves this? Maybe that they were Alba's... They were Alba's? Yeah, let's say that they were Alba's flowers. This smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked, as it were, from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had time to grow so big that Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited this room today. So it was Alba. I was like worried that I was wrong and that maybe it was really Manny Cochin, but okay, I was right. It was Alba. On top of this, the fact that the culprit knew that both offices had a ceiling fan tells us that the person has very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So as you may have already guessed, the person I am accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Thus, it can only be you, Kirkus Alba. He was such a suspicious old man looking like Pinocchio. Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth? That's the ambassador. I am certain of what I am saying, and I am sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor. What was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Being a smuggler. That's what he was accomplishing. No, he was like I said earlier, I think he's trying to cause, like, national outrage against, Babel. Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there is one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh? The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine the focus of this complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will come clear once we examine this piece of evidence. Is it, Copian paper. Let's see. Well, we didn't examine that. Maybe it's the statue? I don't know. There's so many things we haven't investigated yet. So many things I don't quite know yet. That's why I'm saving. I'm gonna say the statue because I think I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real Prima Duck statue for the fake, I sense a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. And who better to ask for that reason than King of Prima Ducks himself? I see. Ambassador, we'll be examining that statue now, with or without your permission. I'm an old man. Oh, here's my old man, Dots. And let me examine that. Oh, it's got the handprint. What am I supposed to be examining? With his sword drawn like this, there is an aura of valor and bravery around King Prima Ducks. He looks so cool standing like that, with the sword stuck in the ground in front of him. Maybe I should try and come up with some cool pose with a shuriken or something. I am seriously beginning to think that her real goal in life is to become a ninja. This is my ninja way. Gonna train up that jutsu. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, there isn't anything particularly odd about the sword, right? No, not really. I suppose we should examine a different area of the statue now. What else can I examine on the statue? The shield. The sword and the shield, huh? A shield, huh? There definitely doesn't seem to be anything unusual about it. I bet it's supposed to mean that the guy is protecting something. I don't think it's supposed to have that deep of a meaning behind it. In that case, what are we wasting time for? Let's look at some other area. Maybe the head? This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they look like that he was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador? I suppose that's possible. Take a look at this area at the base of his neck. It looks like a gap. Hey, you're right. Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret. Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in its construction. What? Hurry up and open it, Miles. Alright, here it goes. Wow, it really did open up. Gasp. Hey, what's this thing that fell out? I believe a more thorough examination is required. Yes, let me look at this. What in the... is this? Hey, is this what I think it is? It's a plate for making counterfeit bills. Oh my goodness. No, it's not candy, it's a plate. And not the kind you eat off of. Somehow it appears that we've at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates. But just one. And the reason why the replica was smuggled into Albahest to begin with. Oh my goodness, Alba. The Prima Duck statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat. And the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances make the statue an ideal object in which to hide contraband. After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Sheena, The ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damask too. Dude, for an old man, this guy has some upper body strength. Like, he's like, I'm gonna murder you, youngin'. Damask was like, oh no! Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at Damask too and... Okay, boomer. Then, in order to frame the steel samurai of the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba, I guess he didn't have an alibi. That's a stretch. You're the leader of the smuggling ring? My country is a mess. And it's all because of you? Thank you, Blue Bulls. You are my hype man. You're the one who killed Damask too? Answer us. See, I've just been blaming this old man because he was a random old man, but I was right. Look at his dots. I never thought. Yes, he got nag powered. I never thought that you would figure things out to this level. However, this is his show. Yep. However, there is one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Cochin. That doesn't make sense. Why does Mr. Cochin have a little like rule card then? Quit screwing around. I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt on to a dead man. If there is one thing I'm sure of, it's that you're the real ringleader, Cucus Alba. It's not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Lang. Subjectivity? My conclusion is anything but, and is the result of logic and investigation. No, Lang. I will destroy you with my facts and logic. Logic and investigation? Only seconds ago you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flip-floppy logic any real weight, do you? He got him. It looks like you still don't get why I came back. Excuse me? You see, the reason I came back is so that I could sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck. Oh my goodness, he's gonna cannibalize Alba. He's gonna murder him in front of me. From the very beginning, my real target has been you. What? Agent Lang, I demand an explanation. Sorry, sis. I didn't mean to put you through all that. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning. See? I called it. I was like, maybe Agent Lang is just buying us time. See, my faith in him worked. You did. IQ 1000, one high number, or just a really lucky guess? Probably a guess, but thank you. I knew this whole incident had been meticulously planned and prepared for. So naturally, the occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look around. Ah, so that's why you put on this big show to accuse Francisca of the murder. Using Francisca as the bait, you were able to gain us entry and investigative rights. Yeah, if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given the okay to poke around. So that's what this was all about. Very well, I will forgive you. But in exchange for using me as bait, you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth. Agent Lang, for giving me such an great opening, I thank you. You know, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor, that somehow, if we were able to find some proof by investigating this room, that you would be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brand of logic. The evidence detectives collect combined with the logic of a prosecutor. That's just as it should be in a prosecutor-detective team, right? Shh, I don't know about all that. The one thing I do know is that I'm itching to see that old man get what's coming to him. Ho ho! You're quite scary when you want to be, aren't you? Hey, you were the one who was planning to use me to push all the guilt onto someone else, onto the sis. But unfortunately for you, you misjudged me. Yeah, I'm just an old man. Agent Lang, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. I'm like 1,000,000,000 years old. You can't intimidate me. I've seen things that you weren't even born to see. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you have what is necessary to prove that I am the head of the smuggling ring. Don't be such a sore loser. Having a little temper tantrum in your room. If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity. Dignity? I'm an old man. I've given up on dignity. That is nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I would like to first see some of this thing you call evidence. Grr. I tell you, I knew nothing, really. I didn't even know that a counterfeit plate was hidden inside that statue. That's a malarkey. You swapped a real statue that vested in your country the authority for a fake? It doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything. It doesn't make sense? Where doesn't it make sense? The fact that you would give up all the rights for your country to, like, lead? But you know, sure. Can you prove that it doesn't make sense? Yeah. He's really got us. He's turned the entire situation around against us. What? No, it's clear logic. They knew they had the real statue. Why would you switch out the real one for a fake? The proof that Interpol has been after, which points to this man as the ringleader. We can somehow find that proof now, then we can see to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? Kay, quick, steal something! Dots. Surprise dots. The trump card and the videotape. With those 2 items, we might be able to finally bring this man down. But the card is evidence from a case that Mr. Faraday hid away in secret. And the tape was stolen by Detective Bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. No matter what, a protector of the law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence. Needless to say, I'm an evil old man. We Von Karmas are commanded to achieve nothing but victory, and by any means necessary. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside the courts. That's what we thought at that time. I still do not know why they formed the Yatagarazu. Like, why did you push for that? Like, I just don't get that. I no longer followed the path of Manfred von Karma. And I won't follow the path of the Yatagarazu. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in illegality. And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is the law and what is justice? And which path is a prosecutor supposed to follow? See, I don't think that law always indicates justice. I think there are things that are morally not wrong. Oh my goodness, this is a choice I have to make. Personally, I don't think... Okay, let's stay on the side of law first and see how that works. I'm a prosecutor and I can't allow myself to use evidence such as these. Mr. Edgeworth, if you don't do something, Ambassador Alba is gonna get away with it. Hey, we'll see what the bad end is. Then, just see what happens. I know, but... Oh, Francisca's just like, nah. Well, what are you holding back for? The only thing a Von Karma should pursue is the perfect proof. If you really do have what it takes to complete our arguments, then there is absolutely no reason not to use it. Yeah. Lang Zi says, the reason people judge people is because people are people. Do you really believe that, Lang? Do you really believe that people are people? I think you have some things you're wrestling with, Lang. The people weren't born to be chained to the law. Laws were born to protect the people. Yeah, see, I agree with Lang on that. You're the only one here right now who could put this guy out to pasture. And that is the only way a second or a third generation of Zhang Fa's people will be born. Can you really still hesitate knowing that the fate of a nation rests in your hands? There is no limit to the law. Any limit that exists was set there by man. When a person goes beyond that limit, then the law too crosses into new territory. For what reason were laws invented? The answer to that is what I must now show. Ambassador Alba, I wonder if you might recognize this. Okay, yeah, so my choice didn't matter. Oh, I wonder what that card is. I've never seen that before in my life. It's a directives card used by the leader of the ring to relay instructions to his subordinates. Yo, is that what it is? Yes, that's what it is. I need to chill down my throat. It's starting to hurt. This card was sent to the real culprit behind the KG8 incident 10 years ago. A man by the name of Mr. Manny Kochen. Oh. So why do you have such a card in your possession? Because it was hand-delivered to me by a certain great thief, the Yatagarazu. The Yatagarazu gave that to you? Don't talk nonsense, and let's be serious, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you have any proof that the card contains directions from the ringleader? I'll have you know that the card is not the only thing I was given. What? This contains security footage that was shot just before the start of the KG8 incident. The KG8 incident? The card in the video? These two pieces of evidence are what will seal your fate. Oh ho ho! Very interesting. I must admit I am very curious now. Very curious indeed in these case-deciding pieces of evidence you've presented. I wonder if Manny stabbed himself then, since you said she didn't kill anyone. The prey the Yatagarazu has been chasing all this time now stands before me. Well, 2/3 of the Yatagarazu. I can't allow this man, who has had free reign for 10 long years, to simply walk away. Now is the time for me to bring to fruition the valiant spirit that was given to me. Oh my goodness. What am I gonna... So what is this interesting thing you wanted to show me? The trump card in the videotape. These two pieces of evidence together make for the ultimate hand. And this is where the real meaning behind Detective Bad's words will be realized. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir. What you see here is security footage shot just before the KG-8 murder occurred. From this footage, we know that the card is a directives card from the smuggling ring. A second thing that was used to say that the card relayed an order. Is it the knife? I'm still only at 1 bit of health. I am very low on health. Oh my goodness. Nope. This is gonna be rough. What else tells us that? What else tells us that this was in order? I'm gonna make sure it's definitely not the knife because I was kind of on the hand there. No. I don't know why I thought maybe. So the card. Maybe it's that it's Manny? What? Okay, first, people who haven't played this. Any idea? Any theories on what it could be? Maybe, yeah, I just thought it wouldn't be the card because he's already pointed out the card, but you're right. The only notable thing. Okay, so that makes me annoyed. Why did they say, oh, here's the card, and then I have to point something else out, but it's also the card? I don't like that wording at all. As you can see, Mr. Ko-Chen is holding the card in his right hand. I see. The killer is indeed holding a card with the exact same design on it. But that card and the one you have. Just because they look the same doesn't mean that they are, does it now? But there is a very easy way for me to prove that they are, in fact, one and the same. All we have to do is simply take a look at this. It's the blood. Because that's CCU's blood. This dark red blood. Yes, this is your proof. And thank you, Blue Bulls, for the help. The proof that the orders on this card were played out in that terrible tragedy. The blood belonging to the victim of the KG-8 incident. With a bit of DNA testing, we can very easily verify that as fact. If you have no objections, then I'd like for you to take a look at this next piece of footage. This car just passed by in front of the victim's apartment building. It's an official Cadopian government car. What? Detective Gumshoe, could you please magnify the footage? Is that also a card? Oh wait, what's that on the other window? Can't tell what that is, right? But I'm also going to save. Anyway, but that looks like it's another card in his pocket. In the shape of this pocket, and the directives card in it, it tells us that without a doubt this person in this car is Mr. Ko-Chen. Ginak. The license plate on the car was also captured by the security camera. And with it, we can easily find out who was sitting in this car on that day 10 years ago. Imagine using your own car to get someone to a place to commit an assassination. amateur hours. Which is why I can say with confidence that you were riding in this car on that day. Yuck. I want to see the old man's meltdown. Ha! Ha 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 ha. Go further beyond. Oh yeah, he's going Super Saiyan, you're right. Oh my goodness. He's no longer old. I mean, he's still old, but now he's old and a dictator. You've done well, boy, to make it this far. However, about your claim that I was riding in the car at that time, that's going to be mighty difficult to prove. How so? The Principality of Codopia no longer exists. So naturally, all records from that time period also no longer exist. Yeah, that arrogance. What he really means is he's already erased all traces of them. Are we finished here, boy? Oh, the enemy. That is a cool theme name. But he's also, like, look at all his shiny badges. Really, I wish I had that many badges. Are we finished here, boy? But man, this is a good theme, and this is wild. The only weapon I have left to me now is this piece of footage. I mean, what's that in the corner there? Can't tell what it is. Let me save. Oh, what the? Ambassador Alba? Yes, what is it? You were once an army man in the service of Codopia, and it was you who made the many missions you participated in successes, correct? Humph. Why the sudden backhanded praises, boy? Although, to be sure, the brilliant medals on my breast were awarded to me during the era of Codopia. But now, I am the only one who owns this particular medal. Wish I had a badge like that. In that case, the only person it could be who is sitting in this car is you. How do you figure that? By the medal captured here in this footage. It is clearly the same exact medal as the one on your chest. Even your Super Saiyan can't protect you from my logic. Ooh, oh my goodness, we're breaking his face off. We've broken his face, oh no. This is how it will be. Oh, okay, he put it back together. All's good. But I won't look back. For this is the path that I have chosen. Actually, I kind of chose opposite, but you know, never mind that. Grr. Ha 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 ha. You've moved me with your devotion to this cause, Mr. Edgeworth. Why is he taking such an arrogant stance with me? It's almost looking possible, isn't it? For the lot of you to have come this far. It looks like I just might lose our little game this time. Oh no, he's gonna pull out a gun. You might lose the game. This time? You don't get another round, Mr. Ambassador. Is that a fact? Very well. I've decided to confess and admit my guilt. I will too, Blooples. If he pulls out a gun as well, I'm gonna just go wild. You're going to confess? And I will accept whatever punishment that may come as a result. What the? Regarding the Damask 2 murder, I admit it. I did it out of self-defense. You're claiming it was justified self-defense? No way. Damask 2 attacked me. I felt my life was in danger. I'm just a decrepit old man. If I hadn't done what I did, I might be the one you found dead instead of him. What a pathetic performance. Ha ha ha. That sounds like gunshots when he's saying it. I'm not giving you one. Wow, you two really know how to laugh at inappropriate times. If you wish to claim it was justified self-defense, then we will need some evidence. It's always evidence with you, isn't it? But if it's what you require, I'll provide it. That man left a mark on me where he attacked. What? I don't particularly want to show it off, but this is proof that it was in self-defense. I'm an old man, and sometimes I don't pay enough attention when I should. But Damask too didn't have a single weapon on his body. Maybe... Hold on. Nothing to get worked up over because I hid the weapon. What if he actually killed Manny as well? You hid it. I'm sorry, but as you know, a murder is a murder, even if it's in self-defense. And I couldn't let it become public, seeing as how I am an ambassador. Scissors. Very long. Okay, who makes scissors like that? They're so tiny and long at the same time. These are unnatural scissors. Oh, this is the weapon you seek. My special bonsai trimming shears. Are bonsais? Yeah, he has a perfect alibi. Yes, I love that. Thank you. Oh, it's covered in blood. He was trembling quite badly during our struggle. But that's when he grabbed the shears that were sitting in my office and attacked. So you see, it was an act of self-defense. Is he right, Mr. Edgeworth? Since he has both a wound and the weapon that caused it, it's enough to declare it so. Unless... No way! Oh, which reminds me. I guess there is still one more accusation I need to resolve. Smuggling and counterfeiting. Unfortunately, all of that is my secretary's doing. I had no knowledge it was going on. Oh, what a way to say that. Stop spewing nonsense. You're trying to throw my investigation under the bus in your desperation. He does do what he wants. He makes himself a permit that says I do what I want. If you want to get real honest, everything in this case can be connected to you. The murder of Damask 2 was done in self-defense? In my trials, no man escapes his crimes alive. Perhaps so, if you were my opponent in court. However, there is one very important fact that I think you may have forgotten. And what is that? It's that he's the ambassador of the country he's gonna get tried in. Yeah, that's what you mean. Extraterritoriality. That's right. This embassy sits on what is effectively Albastinian soil. So any trial that is to be held will be held in Alabast. Therefore, the crime I just admitted to will never be tried in your courts. Agent Lang, what is Interpol's stance on this? Agents investigate. That's our job. The judgment of people who have confessed to their crime. That's the court's job. Yuck. And I've already confessed to all of my crimes, Agent Lang. Furthermore, by the very nature of my position, I have full extraterritorial rights. I hate this old man. There are so many old men I hate in this series. These rights are effective even on your country's soil. Therefore, no matter where a crime may take place, I will never stand trial in one of your courts. That arrogance and your expression, That's nothing like the face of someone who is ready to accept the consequences. Don't tell me you have your own country's judicial system eaten right out of your hands. These crimes you all speak of so seriously of. To me, this has all been nothing more than a game. You may chase me out of this embassy with your accusations, but it's no big deal. Albehest has numerous other embassies in other countries around the world. All you would accomplish is you would change the backdrop of our little game. These 2 layers of protection that extraterritoriality provides him. This is why he is one of those who cannot be brought to court. I hate this old man. You see now, don't you? I live in a whole different world than you. It's a whole new world. Now if you'll excuse me, yeah, he's OP. It's because he won Super Saiyan. I thought I beat the Super Saiyan, but it was too much for me. I need to go and fetch your eviction papers. Can you still evict us while we're doing Interpol work? After we find you guilty? Is there nothing we can do? Let's just go back to Babel. Oh my goodness. Okay.